Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, and welcome back to Calmsden Farm. This is episode number 4, and we're going to get started here in just a moment. I could not remember if I had updated everyone on episode number, I believe it would have been episode number 2, or maybe the last episode number 3, regarding the amount of wheat that we took off of field number 6. We did get 64,211 liters of wheat with 29 bells off of that field, compared to the 93,000 some odd liters of barley that we got off of field number 3. So um, clearly, obviously, and visually, everyone can kind of tell that field number 3 is a much larger field than field number 6, but still not a bad yield, considering that that basically, the field had not been fertilized, had not been cared for in really in any shape or form. And so, of course, we're correcting all of that as we proceed forward into the next planting cycle, and so on and so forth. All right. Well, thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for returning. Just want to go ahead and get out of the way that if you are new to my channel, it would be very much appreciated if you would click the like and subscribe button there, and go ahead and get signed up. Not really signed up, but at least get hooked up. Subscribe to the Grizzly Bear Sims channel. That way, you will get notifications when new videos have released, and click that little bell and all that stuff. All that good stuff that everyone else tells you that you should do and need to do, and all of that. It is very, very much appreciated. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, in the previous episode, I spoke a little bit about, and I need to back up here because I spoke a little bit about the fact that I had done some research, and some of this research wasn't necessarily related to plowing. It started researching something else, and just kind of, how things go. Uh, it's kind of like watching YouTube videos. You start watching YouTube videos of somebody doing something, and next thing you know, you're watching YouTube videos about cats, and it just happens that way. But anyway, there was some information I was looking for, and it kind of led me to the subject of to plow or to not plow. That is the question, and so I like to do things. I'm not trying to necessarily find excuses not to do the work here on Calmsden Farm. I'm really trying to find examples of other real life farming efforts that are taking place not only in the Cotswolds. I am trying to do things very similar to how they are doing in the Cotswolds. That's why I did research information on what the most popular crops were, that being wheat, barley, and canola. And so I found some information regarding plowing, and I wanted, and this is not, ladies and gentlemen, this is not meant to be the end all be all, philosophies of Grizzly Bear Sims, and certainly is not meant to change your mind as far as what you want to do on your virtual farm. And it is not designed to be an argument for those who are plowing on their virtual games, or plowing in the real world, as far as that goes. And so there's a statement that Franklin, I don't want to hit that gas tank, that Franklin Delano Roosevelt said many, many years ago: "A nation that destroys its soil destroys itself." And you can read into that, take from that anything that you want to. It could just be simply meaning, um, and certainly could be applicable today, as we do things, to our land, to our soil, pollution, so on and so forth. And it's not doing us any favors in that respect. And I want to try to get these big bags off of this trailer, two at a time if possible. And there's our first two. All right, so we did pick up some Frontier seeds from the dealership down the street, and that's what we're going to be seeding our fields with. Now, before I get into the story about plowing, I will just update you all and say that we, myself, Sid, and Smithy have already begun the process of getting our fields prepped for the next planting cycle. And so you see lime out on field number 3, and that's what we're doing there. So let's just lower these into place over here, and we'll back out of here. And by the way, this mod, well, actually the big bags and the cherry big bag seed picker are available on simplysafemods.com. That is my mod hosting website that I own and run and manage. Off the top of my head, it does leave me on who the mod creator of these are, but they are confirmed to be directly from him, and that's how we run things over on simplysafemods.com. And I would love, absolutely love, if you're interested in these, I would absolutely love that you would go over there and check those out. And let's see, we've got one. I want to get the other one in there. Oops. As I have said before, ladies and gentlemen, my bell handling and pallet handling skills, you can go ahead and throw bag handling skills into that mix as well. It's not the best in the world, but I suppose in this particular situation, I didn't get them loaded as nicely as I could have. And anyway, so we were talking about Franklin Delano Roosevelt and plowing. So basically, he had said a nation that destroys its soil destroys itself. And so we all know that when you run into a corner of a building, you can't proceed any further. We all know why we plow. It loosens the soil. It basically improves the surface for seeds to go in and that sort of thing. So that's why farmers have been plowing for all of these years. Is for that purpose. And so, but there has been some research conducted. And this particular research was done by a longtime UK farmer, someone who is a multi-generational farmer who is farming land that his father farmed, that his grandfather before him farmed, etc., etc. You get the idea. And so we're gonna park that there. And we're going to head back over to the other barn because we're going to need our telehandler over there whenever we get ready to do the next steps that we're going to be doing today. And anyway, he's done research. He has done obviously real life testing on the farm by essentially no longer plowing. And what he has found out was that initially going, it was difficult. The yields fell to the floor more or less. His fellow neighbors, other farmers, thought that he was absolutely stupid for basically giving up plowing, for stopping plowing. But as time went by, and it only took like another year or two. So he had plowed one year, he didn't plow the next year. Yields fell for just a period or two, for a year or two, and then they began coming back, and they actually came back better than they were before. And the scientific explanations behind all of that is that over time, and it doesn't take very long, but over time, you get the remnants, if you will, and that's a very unscientific term, isn't it? You get the remnants of the previous crop that's worked its way down in the soil, and of course you will continue to cultivate your ground and such as that. You're just not doing the evasive deep plowing, and you get that remnants of that plant life, that previous plant life, and you get organisms, microorganisms and such that live under the soil. And there was an example, and I'm just looking quickly. I made some notes, so please bear with me. There's an example that I want to read to you Um, Basically, it talks about the bacteria and other microfauna improve the soil health and biology, converting the old plant residues and mineral content of the soil into plant food. What he says is by not plowing, the soil structure and organic matter content gradually improves year on year, and the carbon from the soil is not released to the atmosphere as CO2. So it does have some benefits to that way. So anyhow, not necessarily an effort, because when I set this map up, I actually did buy a plow. I bought a 9 meter um, lizard plow. I like those. I like the straight, the straight bar type plows that go on the back of a tractor. And I had picked that up, and it's still in the shed. I haven't even sold it. But as I said, I was doing some research on crops and stuff like that, and this article just kind of fell into my Google view, and there we are. So we'll just park this guy here out of the way, and we are going to go, and we're going to bale the. If I can figure out where my baler is, and I think it is right there. Yes, sir. All right. So we're going to get in the John Deere, and we're going to go bale the grass, the hay that we cut in one of the previous episodes. It is ready to go. We had some nice sunshine on it for a couple of days, tedded it, and it has just produced some nice hay. And this is going to be our first hay crop that we are getting off of Calmsden Farm, and looking quite forward to getting this in the shed, in the barn, and then we are going to proceed on forward with other tasks on the farm, including more grass work, because we are needing to do grass for silage purposes, and of course even more hay, and of course our field continuing our field prep work that needs to be done as we get closer and closer to the time that we need to start planting our fields. So, I guess long story short, and it took 12 minutes to talk about the plowing and some of the other things that we did. I'm not going to be plowing on Calmsden Farm for that reason. So I have turned the need for periodic plowing turned off, so we don't get unnecessarily dinged for not doing that, and we don't have the evasive red image on the map when we look at the PDA and such as that. So anyway, so we're just going to head back around here. Now, I did make somewhat of a fatal mistake when I was setting the map up, in the sense that don't know what I was thinking. You just kind of get so engulfed, and I guess one of my favorite things that I do enjoy doing. It is kind of tedious, and I've talked about this in previous videos, especially when you have to do all these map resets because of updates or whatever. But I do enjoy kind of the early stages of setting the map up, kind of coming in and getting all the equipment, whether you're selling off the stuff that the map author has intended you to play with, or you are adding new equipment to set your farm up and such. I kind of like that early stage, and I kind of get focused in it, and sometimes I forget myself, and I'm picking equipment in the store, and sometimes I pick the wrong equipment, and I've actually done that twice, that I've had to correct things in recent days because I picked the wrong thing, and I wanted to use the fast ground baler that wraps, and I picked the wrong one. But I realized that yesterday when I was kind of going through things in my mind, thinking about what we're going to do in the next couple of episodes down the road. I'm kind of thinking a little bit ahead of time, if I can, if my brain capacity allows that. But anyway, what I'm getting at is, as you can tell, I picked the wrong rake when I was setting up the farm. Got the much larger rake, as if it was one that we would be using on a much larger farm, much larger fields. And so I have corrected that, and traded that rake in, and adjusted the money and everything, so that we don't have issue there. But yeah, I did get the wrong rake, but no worries. I want to get a screenshot here. So anyway, hope everyone is enjoying their own time that they're spending on Calmsden Farm. If you are playing it, I still would absolutely love to hear what's going on your farm. I'm watching. Obviously, Fury Machine Gaming is a subscriber and friend of the channel, and I'm watching his endeavors on his Let's Play on YouTube. He is playing it. As real life as the game will allow him to do it, perhaps even more so than I am, and taking things very slow. He has been harvesting barley for about 4 episodes now, and I'm quite enjoying hearing his stories. He is tying in the stuff that he's experiencing within Calmsden Farm to his real life experiences when he was growing up and living and working on a farm, and kind of explaining how things are done and why you do things this way and why you do things that way. And that has just been something that has really kept me on the edge of my seat and kind of finishing one video and going, gosh, I wish there was another video to watch. But I would love to hear, for those of you who don't do YouTube content creation, I would love to hear what you're doing on your farm, how you're doing things. What, are you into animals yet? What animal types are you raising? What crop types have you decided to plant? And basically, how are you tackling some of these? Let's just be honest and say that for a British style map, these fields are not this field here specifically, but certainly fields 3 and 5 that are field 3 and 6 that we've been working on with barley and wheat. These are pretty massive size fields from the perspective of a British style map. I mean, if you think about maybe you play Polesborough Park Farm or Thornton Farm or something like that in the previous versions of Farm Sim, those were relatively teeny tiny small fields. And quite enjoyable to play maps like that. But this map, Calmsden Farm, certainly as it sets today, is quite massive in size with the fields. Of course, there are smaller fields on the map, and there are even larger fields on this map. So, I mean, if you're struggling, and like I will throw the example back to Fury Machine Gaming. He has spent 4 episodes just harvesting wheat. He is running 1x time and doing everything with a small, I think he's running a 3-meter header, 3 or 4 meter header on the front of his combine. And he's just harvesting field number 3, and basically, is into 4 episodes and still probably has at least another 2 hours, I think, maybe 3 hours. So 2 or 3 more videos on that field. These other fields are quite massive compared to that. So, I mean, as he expands and goes beyond what you get when you start the base game map and adding more fields to that to further the gameplay along, that's going to be quite a consideration of time that's going to be involved in getting that done. But I would love to hear what your experiences are and how you're enjoying this map, and or what you're looking forward to if you're not playing Calmsden Farm, and Calmsden's been out for not quite a week yet. In my time, and this is Tuesday morning, the 25th of January. But I don't think it's been out full week yet. And but are there other maps that you're looking forward to that you've heard about that are yet to be released, and you're looking forward to that? And of course, in the news last week, I think it was maybe Thursday or Friday of last week, Giants posted on their forums and on their Discord basically stating that the I think it's 1.3. Anyway, the next patch they are working on, and it should be out within a couple of weeks, and that was as of last week, as of late last week. So fingers crossed, obviously, because that's the, ladies and gentlemen, that's the thing that makes some of us YouTube content creators a little bit nervous, is when we get engaged in a map, such a wonderful map like Calmsden Farm, and we hear that there is a patch looming on the horizon, and you don't know what you don't know, right? You don't know if this is going to cause game-breaking issues for the map, if you're going to have to basically wait until OxygenDavid is able to fix the issues, and when those issues are fixed, is that going to require a new game save? You know, it's those kind of things that in the grand scheme of things, they're no big deal, right? I mean, it's don't sweat the small stuff. I mean, I just went to the grocery store just the other day, and the shelves are bare, and those are things that we need to worry about. We don't need to worry about whether or not a game update for, you know, a video game is going to cause us some disruptions. But what I mean is that, you know, it's like, okay, well, I've got, you know, 10, 12 hours into this map, got 3 or 4 or 5 episodes or so going. Am I going to have to, you know, redo all of that? Am I going to have to spend some time resetting things, and, you know, either starting completely over or basically going in and catching things up to where we are at that time, and just all those kind of things. Again, as I said, in the scheme of the real world and all the problems that we have going on right now, those are non-issues, but still, it's stuff that we think about. All right, well, let's head back to the main farm, and we are going to, at the very least, go and pick those hay bales up, and we will, at the very least, at least carry the trailer down to back to the farm area where we're going to keep that stuff. So we'll just drop that there, and I think I dropped it. Yep, I did. And then we will go pick up the bell stacker, and then we'll go pick up, I don't think that's many. I don't think that's a dozen. I don't think there's quite a dozen bells. We were making the largest square bell that crone baler will make. Now, yesterday, a very interesting baler came out in the Giants Mod Hub, and perhaps you all saw that as well. Of course, you're going to be seeing this video several days after that event. But we have the crone baler, and I believe that there's also a Kloss version as well that has the built-in rake attachment at the front of the baler. Those are quite interesting, and I wasn't 100% sure if that existed in real life. Obviously, we've had that, you know, we've had that baler in some shape, form, or fashion from all the way back to Farm Sim 15 that I can remember. We've had balers like that, and I did a little bit of research yesterday and found the exact baler, the crone baler, on YouTube, on a YouTube video, and it's quite cool. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to get that. I was I was telling you the other day about Mr. Thornton, and Mr. Thornton is generally pretty good about, you know, he's somewhat of a visionary in a way, and he is certainly easy to get money from. Now, there's Mr. Thornton's dog. What's he doing? What's he doing way over here? Okay, move out of the way. Move out of the way. All right. Wow, he has really roamed from his yard all the way out there. Anyway, Mr. Thornton is pretty good about allowing you to spend his money. If you can convince him that a purchase, something like that. Okay, well, we got through that. Normally I leave those bumps and bangs in the video, but it was just taking me um, a somewhat ungodly amount of time to get the trailer um, from the collision point on that post. It seemed to stick out a little bit wider than visually from what you see, from what you can see with your eyes. And so I didn't want to subject you to all of that. Plus, I may or may not have mumbled a few little choice words that I didn't want on the video. But as you can tell, this is kind of, and I think I told you this when we came back here to actually mow, that you kind of have to go around the world to actually get here to this field. So we have rectified that situation in a way because we have leased a couple of grass fields from some local farmers, and we'll be harvesting our our additional hay and silage needs on some little bit better fields, easier fields, and certainly a little bit larger fields. But anyway, Mr. Thornton is pretty good about spending money, or at least allowing you to spend money, pending that you can justify it. And he especially likes, if I could tell him, okay, well, picking up one of those attachments, going down, taking this the existing baler down to the store and having that installed on it would allow us to be able to produce more hay or collect straw from the fields much quicker, so that we could basically get it off the field. We're burning less diesel because we have eliminated a step. We don't need to rake the field, and we can produce more, and we can actually even generate more revenue because we are going to be selling some hay to local farmers, that we could actually sell that and get that sold quicker if we have and a lot more efficiently and cheaper, because we're not burning as much diesel in the process, or time, and that sort of thing. And he's generally pretty good about that. And I mean, Mr. Thornton's got deep pockets. That's one of the things that I have enjoyed working for him through the years. I mean, at first with Thornton Farm, until he really got to know me as a farm manager, he was kind of micromanaging things a little bit closer than what he does now. Now he's completely hands off. He's like, whatever you need. And that was one of the things that I asked him about when he called me up, and he said, will you do this? Are you busy? Could you come over? And run this operation for me? And I'm like, yep. As long as you are, the way you were when I left you, you'll give me the freedom to make decisions and such, and you'll allow me to hire in the workers that I know that can get the work done, and we can get this thing running as quickly as possible. And he's like, whatever you need, Jerry, whatever you need, just do it. So that is 1, 2, 3. That's 12 bell. We're gonna get 14 bells out of this. We're gonna get um, a full bell stack trailer out of hay. That's not bad. I was thinking somewhere in the lines of maybe 10, and these are 9,000 liter. These are 9,000 liter bells, I believe, or 7,000, something like that. I don't know. Don't remember now. But anyway, these are the largest. What is it? 240 centimeter, something or another, as far as the bell setting goes. Um, anyway. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, it is now officially 30 minutes into the video. I'm going to carry these back over to the main farm, or actually to the dairy farm yard, and get these stacked in the barn. And then when we come back together for the next episode, which I think is going to be episode number 4. No, episode number 5, right? We will figure out some new things to do. We need to do some field prep. We obviously have started and put lime down on field number 3. We need to cultivate that in and let that work its way into the soil nice and well, and then come along and figure out what we're going to plant there. So Thank you all so much for watching. Very, very much appreciated. I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful day. Not really sure when this episode is going to air, so not going to necessarily say that have a nice weekend just in case this thing pops out on a Monday. But have a nice day. Take very good care of yourself and also of each other. And if you want a dog, I'm sure Mr. Thornton will make you a really good deal because he's just wandering around in the street doing circles. Crazy dog. Crazy, crazy dog. Thanks for watching. Talk to you all soon. Bye for now.